Biot-Savart law. It is used to find the magnetic field induced at a point due to a current element. Consider a finite long conductor XY carrying current I. We know that a current carrying conductor produces magnetic field around it. Let P be a point on this magnetic field. To find the magnetic field at this point, due to the current carrying conductor, we can assume that the conductor is divided into a large number of very small elements, each of length dl. First, we can calculate the magnetic field dB induced at this point due to one such element of the current carrying conductor. To find the total magnetic field at that point, due to the entire wire, we can take the sum of magnetic fields due to all current elements. Let R be the position vector joining from the current element to the point P. Let theta be the smallest angle between the current element and distance R. The magnetic field at a point P due to the current element is directly proportional to the current I in the element, directly proportional to the length dl of the current element, directly proportional to the sine of the angle between current element and distance, that is sine theta, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance r between the current element and the point. After combining all these relations, we get dB proportional to ideal sine theta divided by r square. Now, proportionality is replaced by equal to as well as constant. Then dB equals k into ideal sine theta divided by r square, where k equals mu0 divided by 4 pi. Here, mu0 is known as absolute permeability of the free space. Then, above equation becomes dB equals mu0 by 4 pi ideal sine theta divided by r square. After multiplying numerator and denominator with r and by taking the sine theta as cross, the vector form of Biot-Savart law is dB equals mu0 by 4 pi I into dl cross r by r cube. Permeability. It is the ability of the medium to allow magnetic field lines to pass through it, as like permittivity in electric field. Direction of magnetic field. Since in the expression of dB there is one dl cross r, direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to both dl and r. It is correctly given by two rules. The first one is right hand screw rule and the second is right hand thumb rule. First one, right hand screw rule. Right hand screw rule. If we place right hand screw at a point P, perpendicular to the plane of the paper and turn its handle from DL to R. Then the direction in which the screw advances gives the direction of magnetic field. Thus, the direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to and into the plane of the paper as shown by the encircle cross at point P. Right hand thumb rule. We keep our right hand to apply this rule so that thumb is straight and other fingers are curved. Then, if the curved fingers are directing from DL to R, then thumb is in the direction of magnetic field. Thus, the direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to and into the plane of the paper as shown by encircle cross at point P. We know that theta is the angle between the current element dl and distance r. When we are calculating the magnetic field at a point which is along the current carrying element, then the angle between dl and r is 0. Then dB equals mu 0 by 4 pi ideal sine 0 divided by r square. Since sine 0 equals 0, dB equal to 0. So there is no magnetic field act at the point along the current element. When we are calculating the magnetic field at a point which is perpendicular to the current element, then the angle between dl and r is 90 degree. Then dB equals mu 0 by 4 pi ideal sine 90 divided by r square. Since sine 90 equals 1, dB equals mu 0 by 4 pi ideal by r square. For a particular current element, I and dl are constant, and for a particular point, distance r is also constant. In this case, dB depends only on sine theta. Here it is sine 90, which is the maximum value of sine function. So dB is maximum. Thus, magnetic field is maximum at a point which is perpendicular to the current element. The SI unit of magnetic field is Tesla. We can define 1 Tesla. If the current in the element is 1 ampere, length of the current element is 1 meter, distance from current element to the point is 1 meter, and the angle between the current element and the distance is 90 degree, then dB equals mu 0 divided by 4 pi. Since mu 0 equals 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7, after cancellation, dB equals 10 to the power of minus 7 Tesla. So 1 Tesla is 10 raised to 7 times the magnetic field produced by a current carrying conductor of unit length when it carries unit current at unit distance from it and perpendicular to it. Consider a current carrying conductor in the form of a circular loop of radius x with center O at the origin of the coordinate axis. Let I be the current flowing through this circular loop. The plane of the loop is along yz. X-axis is the axis of the loop. It is always perpendicular to the plane of the loop. Consider a point P be on the axis of the loop at a distance a from the center of the loop. Let dl be the small current element of the circular loop. Let r be the distance from the current element to the point P. Then the angle between A and R is phi. We know that current carrying conductor produces magnetic field around it. Let dB be the magnetic field at the point P due to the current element dl. To combine this magnetic field, consider this line with angle phi. Because dB is perpendicular to R and vertical line perpendicular to A, then the angle between dB and perpendicular line is phi. Then this component is dB cos phi and this component is dB sin phi. Theta is the angle between current element dl and R. Since current element is in yz plane and R is along x-axis, theta will be 90 degree. This angle is also 90 degree because according to Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field dB is perpendicular to the distance r. Consider another current element dl dash diametrically opposite to the first current element. Let r be the distance from this current element to the point P. Since the circular loop is symmetrical about its axis, this angle is also phi. Let dB dash is the magnetic field produced by the current element dl dash. This is the vertical line. The angle between these two is phi because vertical line perpendicular to A and dB dash perpendicular to R. So this component is dB dash cos phi and this component is dB dash sin phi. This angle is 90 degree since according to Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field dB dash is perpendicular to distance r. Then, according to Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field at a point P due to the current element dl is dB equals mu 0 by 4 pi ideal sin theta divided by r square. As we told before, theta equals 90 degree. Then dB equals mu 0 by 4 pi ideal by r square. After apply Pythagoras theorem for this triangle, we get r square equals a square plus x square. So dB equals mu 0 by 4 pi ideal by a square plus x square. As we discussed before, dB can be resolved into two components. dB sin phi along the axis, dB cos phi perpendicular to the axis. For any two diametrically opposite elements of the loop, the components perpendicular to the axis of the loop will be equal and opposite and hence cancel out. Only axial component remains. So, Manti field produced by dl is having only axial component and it is dB sin phi. After substituting the expressions of dB from above and sin phi from this triangle, that is sin phi equals x divided by root of a square plus x square. dB equals mu 0 by 4 pi idl by a square plus x square into x divided by root of a square plus x square. Then the magnetic field due to the entire loop in is the integral of magnetic field due to the current element, which is B equals integral dB sin phi. After putting the expression of dB sin phi, B equals integral mu 0 by 4 pi I dlx divided by a square plus x square whole raised to 3 by 2. After taking constants outside the integral, B equals mu 0 by 4 pi ix divided by x square plus x square whole raised to 3 by 2 integral dl. dl is the length of the current element. Integral dl means full length of the loop, means its circumference, which is 2 pi x since x is the radius of the loop. So B equals mu 0 by 4 pi ix into 2 pi x divided by a square plus a square whole square 3 by 2. Since only axial component is existing, the magnetic field is along the axis of the loop, that is along OX. So vector B equals mu 0 by 4 pi 2i into pi x square divided by a square plus x square whole raised to 3 by 2 into OX cap. This is the magnetic field at a point on the axis of the circular loop due to one turn of the loop. Then the magnetic field at a point on the axis of the circular loop due to n turns is magnetic field due to one turn into number of turns n, which is B equals mu 0 by 4 pi 2ni pi x square divided by a square plus x square whole raised to 3 by 2. Special cases. When point P lies at the center of the circular loop, means put A equal to 0 in the above expression. After cancellation, we will get B equals mu 0 I divided by 2x. Second case, when point P lies far away from the coil, means A greater than x. Put x equal to 0 in previous equation of the denominator. And after cancellation, B equals mu 0 by 2 I x square divided by a cube. Third case, when axial point is at a distance equal to the radius of the coil, put A equal to x in the previous equation. So after cancellation, B equals mu 0 I divided by 2 raised to 5 by 2 into x. Now we can discuss about the direction of magnetic field produced by a current carrying loop. We know magnetic field acts along the axis of the loop. To get clear picture regarding the direction, we can use two rules. The first one is right hand thumb rule. If we curl the palm of our right hand around a circular wire with the fingers pointing the direction of current, then the extended thumb gives the direction of the magnetic field. Second rule, clock rule, gives polarity of the magnetic field also. While we are observing a current carrying coil from one side, if current flows in anti-clockwise direction, then when we are observing from other side, current flows in clockwise direction. If the direction of current through the loop is anti-clockwise, direction of magnetic field is away from the center and that side of the loop behaves like a north pole. But in the other side, current through the loop is clockwise. Thus, the direction of magnetic field is towards the center of the circular coil and that side of the coil behaves like a south pole. Graphical analysis of magnetic field due to a current carrying loop. Since magnetic field is inversely related to the distance, magnetic field is maximum at the center of the loop and decreases with the distance from the loop as shown in the figure. Shape of magnetic field lines. When we observe from the right side of the loop, since current flows in anti-clockwise direction, this side of the loop acts like north pole and magnetic field lines directing away from the center of the loop and go like this. When we observe from the left side of the loop, since current flows in clockwise direction, this side of the loop acts like south pole and magnetic field lines direct towards the center of the loop and goes like this. So magnetic field lines outside the loop is directing from north to south and from south to north through the coil. So magnetic field lines are closed loops as per its definition. So we can discuss three properties. First one is magnetic field lines around the current carrying circular loop are concentric circles whose centers lie on the wire. As we move from the current carrying conductor, circles become loosened and larger. Means their spacing between the circles increases, same time they become larger. Third property is at the center of the circular loop, the magnetic field line appears as straight line because it is a small part of a big circle.